My name is Ryon Polequaptewa. I come to you from the village of Songopavi. My clan that I am born to is the Sun Clan, as well as being full-blooded Hopi. Carving Katsina dolls, um, I've been doing for about 10 years. The art has changed in the form, whereas we got some art here. Um, this particular being, it's constructed, a long time ago, close to in the early 1900s, whereas there was really no tools. Um, Supposed knives, weren't really as sharp as to where they are now to complete something this intricate. If you can get in closer zoom, there's a lot more detail to this piece than there is to this personal piece right here. And also the change in color, um, as to the beginning of time where these dolls were painted with only pigment paints, and also only natural feathers were used, natural being straight from either hawks, eagles, basically migratory birds is to what we refer to them, rather than to have a feather carved out, which you see right here. And these are some of the different things that you would see, and you can see the different and how each one is carved, the way it's represented. Not so much detail in the earlier ones, to whereas you could see a lot of detail in the early. I mean the ones that are seen today in the market. These kachinas are not supposed to be humanly formed because they represent spirits. So in these older traditional styles, you don't see the hands or the fingers being carved to where you can see all the details in the knuckles or the veins in your fingers, to whereas sometimes in these contemporary dolls you can see muscles and very detailed fingertips as well as fingernails. And a lot of these dolls, when there was no glue around, it was more of a art form of nailing pieces together, basically with things that you could just find or that were available at the time, materials. So everything was always used a long time ago, whereas this particular thing may have came from somebody's shawl or shirt, you know, or these particular plants, utilizing plants, everything around uh, the community that could be used. Um, this particular plant being the yucca, as to being when it was green, you can see it's yellow now, but when it's green, it's really fresh and it's flimsy, and you can work with this, bending it in different ways, but it's still, if it's braided correctly, can be as tight as rope and it can't be broken. And so whereas a lot of the old people used to use the yucca to tie some of the things on the dolls, which was used as a string. And so, as well as making drill, nowadays you would have a drill to drill holes into such pieces if you need it to make a hole. But whereas I still myself still use this technique of firing an awl, is sticking it in some fire and some coals and making that metal get really really super hot, and then stick it right through the piece of wood, because it's made from the root of a cottonwood tree. It's very forgiving. Uh, some carvers say it's like carving into butter, if you find the very premium stuff. So you wouldn't have such a trouble of making a hole then.
And what were the paints used in this really early doll?
What we know as tuma, and others call it gypsum. And also, that white acting as a base form or as a, what do you call this, primer to the doll, and then utilizing the pigments, the red, all these colors representing such elements from the earth, black representing the depth of life, or either that, the fires, the heat, and also the red representing the blood, or as well as the the Grand Canyon walls, the where the Hopi have believed to emerge from. The white always representing purity, blue always representing moisture, rain clouds, and yellow always representing the dirt or the earth that we walk on. So those are some of the paints that are used on this particular one.